Yeah, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna be going over today's price action. What I ended up taking today. I ended up taking one trade today. I ended up getting break even on today's trade. However, I ended up fading an A plus setup today because I was low key a donut today. Yeah, no, I traded like an absolute donut today, and I feel like there's definitely a few things that ended up causing that. The main thing was that I got on the charts actually like 2 minutes before market open, so I wasn't really prepared, and I didn't really have a good bias going into the day. I kind of just hopped in and seen what we were doing, and kind of went from there. I also just kind of failed to like utilize and kind of see the conditions today. The reason why I was a bit hesitant today was just I wasn't a fan of this price range that we were in. We had an SMT at this low instead of this 4 hour gap, but we also just inversed a bearish 4 hour. So like, there's a lot of bullish signs in the higher time frame, but overall, if we look at what we've been doing in the overnight session, London manipulated higher, and then we started to distribute and fall off. And then we also had an interaction here, which see like these are the things that I'm taking into account after the fact because I just wasn't on the charts early enough today to. It's not an excuse. It's just cope. Honestly, it's like stupid. It's just me not being locked in as I should be. Well, just for today anyway. And again, like this is the thing with trading. Not being locked in is going to cause you to miss these setups. And obviously, if you do it repeatedly, you're going to miss them all the time. So this is just kind of a rare scenario for me where this happens to me. But as we can see here, we ended up coming into this hourly gap in London session, and we ended up delivering out of it, but we failed to deliver because we ended up tapping this bearish 30-minute and then making a move lower. And when you see a gap in a discount, such as this hourly gap, and if we look at this range in the hourly chart, like we came down to a discount for sure here, and we left technically low resistance in the higher time frame higher as well in this range. It came into a discounted hourly gap, and then we came into a 30-minute bearish gap, and we ended up selling off from that 30-minute bearish gap, which is showing that the 30-minute in this scenario held more power than the 1 hour in the discount, which is clearly showing signs of a bearish price action. Now, we did have an SMT coming into market open at this low right here. So off looking at this, I was leaning more bullish. But for some, I don't even know. I don't know. I genuinely can't even explain like what happened today. I think I was just all over the place. I think it's because I was live trading as well. Because I was recording my live trading session, I didn't even upload it because I just got interrupted a lot of times, by people in my household, which is fine. Obviously, no, I'm not saying anything by that, but um, like I said, I was bullish on the live recording, and then I think going into the day, like I felt like weird taking a short because I just said it. I don't know. Anyway, kind of just I think it's in the back of my head while I'm trading, so I'm just going to completely remove myself from live trading. I'm not going to be seeing that uploaded on the YouTube channel for a good while now. I'm going to keep it there anyway as like a what's it called as a playlist because I will definitely start doing it again in maybe a couple of months or something, just when I get used to it more. But yeah, an excuse. But anyway, this was just like a really simple day where it was just like if this then that, right? And the if this then that came from this SMT. So it's like, is this SMT going to either A, cause a V-shaped recovery? So are we going to blitz through this 30-minute gap? And then if we do that, we can presume price to make moves higher towards this lower resistance liquidity that London made. Or second scenario would be if this SMT is going to be redundant, even though it is an SMT instead of a 4 hour gap. If price were to end up coming to this 30-minute gap here, and then we were to distribute from this 30-minute gap, we can presume that this is just against the move on the higher time frame that we want to complete within this leg right here. So yeah, it was really simple. Just if this then that. And yeah, there's really not much more to say from that. Market ended up opening higher right here. Boom, and then 9:30. What did 9:30 do? So like these are the things. I don't know why. I just wasn't locked in today. It was just one of those days, you know. And what did 9:30 do? 9:30 ended up opening lower and sweeping out jack shit. It didn't end up sweeping out anything. It ended up just leaving more low resistance liquidity at 9:30 here as well. So that's a 9:30 generating liquidity lower, and then it makes a move higher, and we manipulate higher into this unfilled 30-minute gap on both pairs, by the way. And I also didn't see the 30-minute gap on ES, and for some reason at this point, um, I only thought we had a 15-minute gap, and I failed to realize that market opened up a 30-minute. So all I was seeing was like, okay, cool. NQ came into this 15-minute gap, and then at this time, ES was like, oh, that's Nasdaq, but ES was like around here. ish. So it was like edging the 15-minute gap, which I didn't like because I do like seeing true manipulation of market open. But all that time, ES was inside of a 30-minute gap. So both pairs ended up manipulating into this 30-minute gap on market open, and 9:30 ended up generating more liquidity lower here with this little failure swing at 9:30. And then immediately after we came into this gap, we ended up getting a stop hunt SMT, which was right here. And you can see the reaction off this, like it's saucy. So ES ended up re-sweeping the high that I put in inside of the 30-minute gap. So we had an external SMT and an internal SMT right here inside of a higher time frame key level. And then we had this 2-minute gap that I was looking to see get inverse. Well, I wasn't looking to see because I was just being an actual donkey on the charts today, but how I should have played this. Boom, there's a 2-minute inverse right there. Simple stuff. You just have your stop relatively here-ish, whatever, in a safe kind of spot where you feel you wouldn't want to see price retrace for. Simply just go for the 1-to-1 here, and then you were out of the trade in 2 minutes. Break even would have been at this, yeah, break even for me would have been at the external range low. Not this low resistance liquidity building up to that low. And yeah, that was just a really clear trade. I'm going to go over the trade I actually ended up taking because I got a bit more locked in on the charts after that. I don't know why. I think I just need like 15 or 10 to 15 minutes before market open for me to actually like dial it in. So yeah, so we had that 9:30 PO3 higher, and then if you want to see, just to show you guys another like pretty good setup in my opinion, was this right here. We had this 9:45 open high into this 5-minute gap, and so this was a 9:45 and 9:30 stacking PO3, and we had manipulation at 9:45 into this 5-minute gap, which was my new condition. And then we had this 1-minute gap here, and I think I do believe there was a way cleaner 30-second entry, which was like right here, and it was just like a really simple trade down to this low, but I didn't have the 30-second chart. And I seen the 1 minute, so I decided to just wait for the 1 minute. I ended up taking this trade again, literally just backing the exact same narrative from the first trade, and that we were continuing bullish with this sponsored 5-minute from the 30-minute. And I ended up getting a break even on this trade. Sadly, we ended up delivering lower here, and we ended up taking out my DOL, which would have been like my preferred DOL to just purely target for this trade. And then I went break even here and ended up getting break even off of that. And then for the rest of the day, we kind of just messed around a bit, so I'm not going to cover the rest of that. But yeah, this was definitely a trade. This was A plus. This was extremely A plus. This was a very A plus trade, which I ended up fading today because I just wasn't locked in enough. Which happens, right? I'm not going to beat myself down fully on it, but this was 100% a trade that I should have taken. And this is, I've taken multiple trades like this in the past, and they have smashed TP. So there's absolutely no reason for me to fade this trade just because of like high resistance versus high resistance. Yeah, and we kind of only realized that after the fact that it played out, so it was a bit of a hindsight warrior moment for me. But like, if it's a trade that I would genuinely fade, then I would be saying, no, I don't care that this trade played out. Like, this is completely fine. And again, I'm not feeling FOMO or anything because of the P&L isn't up today or whatever. The only reason I'm a bit pissed is because I didn't perform to my best ability on the charts today. So it is what it is. Definitely just a moment to learn from and journal and move on. This was an extremely A plus obvious move, which I've taken trades like this so many times before, so I don't know what was going on with me this morning, but it is what it is. Definitely going to be journaling that, learning from it, moving on. And yeah, let me guys. Oh, bro, I don't know. Why do I keep saying let me guys? Bro, it's so weird. Anyway, let me know if you guys ended up taking any trades today, and if you did, please leave them in the comments below. I'm always interested to see what other people are taking, or if anyone else took a dub or break even or a loss today. Leave it in the comments below. It's always cool to hear back from you guys. And if you guys have any questions, of course, leave them in the comments below too. Or if you want to talk to me personally, you can have my Discord, Instagram, or TikTok, which will be in the bio of this video if you guys want to check them out. And give me a shout on those platforms. I can 100% respond to anything trading related. And yeah, except for that, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's trade recap. So peace.